Crude was trading at above $120 earlier today, following a larger than expected hike in prices in Saudi Arabia. Oil giants BP and Shell were up 2.9 and 1.9% respectively, which contributed to the FTSE Monday morning surge. London Underground has advised people not to travel on the tube today due to severe disruption across the network, which is due to end at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Members of the Rail, Maritime and Transport Union are taking industrial action in a dispute over jobs and pensions. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of British travellers are estimated to be stuck at airports across Europe after up to 200 flight cancellations occurred over the weekend. Finding new ways to improve economic governance in emerging markets is becoming increasingly important to policymakers as the world recovers from the COVID-19 lockdowns. It's been a long time since African central bankers and finance ministers won praise for keeping spending in check and holding prices on an even keel. But later this month, a team at Reputation Poll International plans to do just that, award financial institutions for battling through the global economic storm. Marvin Amunje, the communications officer for Reputation Poll International, joined me earlier to shed some light on the upcoming activities.
We live in this world that is global, that we work and we operate in the global market. So how we create our systems, how we create services that define the convenience that we bring to our customers, whether it's digital, whether we're reaching out, the microfinancing as well as fintechs. So for us, what's important is bringing all of that together and having one voice and one unified message about can we do this? What is acceptable? What is not? And can we build this continent? We cannot be disingenuous to the history of how banking started. We cannot be disingenuous to how fintech started. We need to look at the instruments of financials in the financial industry. They cannot be summoned without having come from somewhere where it originated. So what happens is African banks need to adopt, be agile, be ready to attain, retain, and increase their services and their reach by how they produce their services and their products, because essentially you're not producing or you're not creating for the local player anymore. You're creating for the global industry. So we need to think global. So when we have different voices about what is it that I want and what is it that you bring to the table, especially when we have, people from all walks of life, which the awards and the conference will promise to have, I think is going to be a very important conversation and not being biased. So having everybody at the table, especially policymakers, people that are in government, in central banks, for us, having that data, because we don't want to be having all this data. You sit on this data and we can't do anything about it, Juliana. So what for us, I think, essentially became important was having that data, having all these people sat at the table and using that so that we can change, for example, frameworks of how entrepreneurs are upstreamed into the market, because sometimes it's our own people that are stopping our entrepreneurs and our small, medium enterprises to grow.
Those are your main stories from London at close of business.